Hi there, this is David, and welcome to New RPG News. We have a lot of stuff to talk about today. We have like 20-something stories to go over, so bear with me as we go through all of these announcements. It's been Summer Game Fest and Steam Next Fest and everything else, and we just have tons of things to talk about. I've done some individual videos here and there about some bigger announcements, but I do want to cover just most everything that I can here. There's just so much to talk about. We're going to start here with Metaphor ReFantazio, which I did a whole trailer deep dive into. It was like a 30-minute video, so if you want to know more about Metaphor and what this game is all about, check out that video that I did this week, really deep diving and analyzing the trailer. All I really want to say here is that it was announced for the Xbox, but Xbox does this like weird timed exclusivity thing where they get announced for Xbox, and then like even though they don't even release only on Xbox for a certain amount of time, just the announcement itself is timed for like 72 hours, and I don't know why they pay for this. It's so stupid. But they did this for Metaphor and as well as the two Persona games that we saw, and now that their little timed exclusivity for just the announcement, not even the game, has expired, it's coming over to the PlayStations as well as Steam. So worry not, we will all get to play this. Alright, let's talk Persona 3. There's been a lot of confusion about what actually will be in this Persona 3 remake, and I want to try to clarify this as much as I possibly can. It says that it will include main story elements that were added in the FF7 version, but it will not include the female protagonist from the portable version, which is unfortunate. Here is the actual quote from a Famitsu interview. It says, "I would like to make clear that there is no misunderstanding. Persona 3 Reload is a project that started as a remake of the original Persona 3 for current consoles, so it does not include the later story added in FF or the female protagonist from Portable. However, this does not mean that the main story elements added in FF are not included in Reload at all." So I think what he's really trying to say here is that the answer will not be included in the Persona 3 remake here. However, all the other quality of life features that were included in FF will be included here in this remake. That is my understanding right here. He also mentioned that there will be elements added to Tartarus to further encourage exploration, and it also made it possible for players to dash while moving. There'll be a lot of new voice lines added. Moreover, there will be new gameplay element that will help players delve deeper into the story of characters who didn't get a lot of screen time in the original version, and new side stories as well. So that to me means that more than likely Aegis is going to keep her social links. Those were also added in the FF version. All the various quality of life changes will also be here as well. It says here that the Journey section got new personas, quests, additional character-specific events, more difficulty options, and changes to existing social connections and personas. So I think what they're trying to do here is do a best of both worlds option. Like, I'm trying to be optimistic about this, but there's also another part of me that says this is some bobo bullshit, because I think what they're really trying to do here is say, okay, Persona 3 Reload won't have this, in FF, and won't have this, in Portable, but Persona 3 Reload Royal Edition that will come out the next year will! So guess what, guys? Buy it twice! That's really what I think is going on here, if I know Atlas well. So, yeah. We have a stealth drop update on Triangle Strategy. We have added a new chapter and new story battle replay features. This is really cool. Like, this came out of nowhere a year after launch. So I'm just going to go through the Switch and PC patch notes. It says that they added a character story replay feature, added a story battle replay feature, and a whole extra chapter, but you had to have completed Serenoa's route first. So it's almost like a New Game Plus sort of feature, or like an epilogue sort of thing, as well as several issues to address the gameplay experience. And then as far as the PC patch notes, it just goes through and it talks about quality of life features and all that, but I think that this is funny. The ellipses symbol animation can now be interrupted and skipped. Like, honestly, like, that always pisses me off whenever I'm playing a game and I'm going through and, like, there's, like, dialogue, and then all of a sudden you see, like, dot, and then somebody else goes, dot, and then somebody else, dot, and it's just like, why is that even there? Like, just get to the story. Say what you need to say. I don't need to see people, like, have a dramatic pause. Like, just say what you need to say, people. Like, honestly, the whole little ellipsy thing in JRPGs never used to be in NES or SNES games, barely in PlayStation 1 at all, and now it's all over the place, and I just don't get it. And I'm so glad that it can be skipped. It should just never be in the games in the first place. We have some new details on Dragon Dogma 2. There was a whole presentation at the Capcom showcase, and honestly, I watched the entire Capcom showcase. I rushed home from the gym to see it, and then after I watched it, because I was gonna like make a video on it, and I thought like, ugh, like this showcase sucked. Like, so I didn't make a video on it, you know? It was just kind of very underwhelming. I personally was looking forward to a Breath of Fire, but we got Dragon's Dogma and a couple of other things, but for the most part I was just like, oh, good lord. So Dragon Dogma 2 is looking to be pretty sweet. They talked a lot about the various pawns, how you can make a party of 4, you have your own pawn, and then you have like these 3 other pawns that can like join you or whatever. It also talked about the world. It's going to be 4 times as large as the world from the first game. It says that it's densely populated with enemies, events, and locations rendered with the latest graphical technology. The environment is complemented by immersive physics and character AI that brings pawns, monsters, and NPCs to life as they organically guide players to new locations, dynamically cooperate during battle, and even react to special moments such as celebrating narrow victories with high fives. So it does seem pretty sweet. It does seem pretty cool. I'm going to have to check this one out. I passed on the first game, but I did get it for the Steam, so I'm going to have to try it out whenever I get a chance and play that before Dragon's Dogma 2 comes out, because it's looking pretty nice. Apollo Justice Ace Attorney Trilogy has been announced for the PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. It is due out early next year. I personally have never been one to get into these Ace Attorney games. They look way too visual novel-y for me. I'm just not into that sort of stuff. But I know a lot of y'all are. This was part of the Capcom showcase, and I was sitting there, I was like, oh, this game, you know, whatever. But it's basically, it's just a compilation. These games have been released before, over on the DS and 3DS, and now they are getting ported over to the consoles in HD, and it says that there are new features coming to them, but then it just says that the new features are HD and 7 different languages, as well as voice recording for these languages as well. And if you're like me and you can only understand English, it's just kind of like, oh, well then it's no real features at all, I guess, except for, I don't know, voice recordings and all that. But yeah, if you're excited for this, good on you. I will probably pass. Man, this is like the best trailer ever. Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is launching in early 2024. This is the 8th mainline Yakuza game, and it is coming out for the PS5, Xbox, PS4, and PC. And it says here, I'm just going to read the overview as you watch this trailer in all of its glory. It is just the best. It says, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth is a direct sequel to Yakuza Like a Dragon, where an unexpected chain of events sends 2 legendary ex-Yakuza, Ichiban and Kiryu, on a larger-than-life adventure as dual playable protagonists. That's nice. See what shenanigans Ichiban has gotten himself into this time in this pretty revealing trailer here. So if you don't know, anything with Ichiban is going to be turn-based, and like you can see obviously from this trailer that it's still so just like kitschy and weird and off-kilter and just like humorous. These Yakuza games and all these ones starring Ichiban, I love them for obvious reasons. Turn-based RPG Bloomtown, a different story, has been announced for consoles as well as PC, taking place in 1960s America. This looks very Earthbound to me. That's why I wanted to bring this up. We have 2 quirky kind of RPGs that I want to bring up now. This is the first one right here. We don't have a specific console, nor do we have a specific release date, but while this is playing up above, I do want to read the About section. It says it's a narrative JRPG mixing turn-based combat, monster taming, and social RPG set in the seemingly pleasant 1960s Americana world. You play as Emily and her younger brother Chester, sent on their summer holiday to their grandpa's cozy and quiet town, but it might be too quiet. Children are starting to disappear, nightmares are getting more real, and something's not right, especially for a 12-year-old girl with an adventurous mind. So it's up to you to solve this mystery and free Bloomtown and its inhabitants from a glooming fate. And this is the other one. I just thought this was so weird. I just had to bring it up. Turn-based adventure RPG Hermit Pig has been announced for the PC. Oh, we don't have a release date here. I'm just going to read the about while you guys watch the trailer above me. It says it's a turn-based adventure RPG about a reclusive hermit and his truffle-hunting pig. These unlikely heroes must explore, forage, fight, and overcome unfortunate personal shortcomings to solve the mystery of a sinister corporate plot. Hermit and Pig set out one morning to forage mushrooms and avoid human interaction. Whenever a girl from a nearby village shows up asking for help, they're plunged into a conspiracy well above their pay grade, which is $0. It's just so odd. It looks so earthboundy and just weird. Both of these games are just weird, and I just had to bring them up. This game came out on the PS3 and the Vita, 10-something years ago. Akivas Trip Undead and Undressed Director's Cut is launching August 1st here in the West, along with a true ending. It says it's going to launch digitally for about $30. Separately, there is new downloadable content included in the director's cut that will be available for the PS4 and PC. I guess if you just want to get that for the regular version of the game, I assume. Then it says, additionally, a physical Day 1 edition of the game for Switch is available for pre-order for $40. It includes a musical selection CD and a set of 9 large art cards featuring commemorative illustrations by various Japanese artists. It goes into an overview of the game right here, but I just want to read the bottom part of it because that's where it's talking about the new additions. It says it's featuring an all-new true ending route, fully voiced in English and Japanese, starring lovable maid Kari, original side quests introducing more offbeat Okataku denizens of Akihabara, and an arsenal of new weapons and armor. This brings modern supernatural action and adventure for the Japanophile of discerning tastes. I can't pronounce any of this stuff. But yeah, I never played this game because it was about undressing girls, and that's just not my really thing. But hey, it's not, this show isn't about me. This show is about me giving you information. So if this is something up your alley, hey, have at it. And some people wonder why I hate digital games. NIS America is starting to delist several games for the PSN and Switch stores starting next week, it says. And I'm a little bit late on this news, but hey, it is what it is. So Demon's Gate is leaving the PlayStation Vita. God Ward's Future Past is leaving the PS4 and the Vita. I understand why it's leaving the Vita. I get that. But other things like the PS4, why is that happening? Or the Switch, why is that happening? The Lost Child, that's going away for the PS4, Vita, and Switch. God Wars The Complete Legend, buy on the Switch. Natural Doctrine, PS3, PS4, and Vita, gone. Demon's Gaze, gone on the PS4 and PS Vita. These are all, from this, so you know that they're really rare. So if you have these physically, good on you. You've got them, forever. If you want to buy them digitally, you better get while the getting's good, because once these dates go up, you won't be able to get these again, so just keep that in mind. We have some great news about Sea of Stars. This is really, really cool. First things first, Sea of Stars is now content complete, meaning that everything that they want to put inside the game is now done. So they have 2 full months to pretty much go from content complete to going through and really playtesting the game and getting all of the bugs out, just to make sure it is the most polished experience that they can possibly provide us. Then they go on to say that it's also going to be available on day 1 on the Xbox Game Pass and PC Game Pass. So those of you that have that service, you'll be sure to pick this up right whenever you can. I, for one, personally back this over on Kickstarter in order to get a physical copy of it. But in addition to that, they also said that they're going to be sending me out a digital code as well, so that I can play it day 1 as well. They did that for all of the physical backers, so we don't have to wait to play it. So that's really cool. I am totally looking forward to this game. It's probably my most anticipated game of August. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth will kiss the original story completely goodbye, and it will be releasing in January of 2024, says I'm a Hero 2. You might recognize this name, I've brought him up a lot. He is the leaker behind the Persona 5 Tactics, behind the Persona 3 Reload, knowing that both of those would come out for the Xbox, knowing that the subtitle for Persona 3 would be Reload. He's the leaker behind Final Fantasy X-3 coming out. He's the leaker behind all the leaks that always are completely right! So, yeah, listen to this guy. He knows what he's talking about. I'm just going to go ahead and read exactly what he says. He says that be a massive title that will kiss the original story goodbye, which is something that the trailer indeed teased, with Sephiroth suggesting that Tifa was killed during the events in Nibelheim. Additionally, Zack will be playable during a big part of the game, which is something interesting, considering his role in the original game was limited and was only expanded on in Crisis Core. Then he goes on and he says about the gameplay, he confirmed that the game will feature big zones, but they will be smaller than those seen in the upcoming Final Fantasy XVI. Speaking further about the game, they said that the combat system is still sublime, and that the game generally goes in a new direction, and the callbacks to the original won't be as meta as those in the remake. Finally, it seems that we won't have to wait long to play the game, as the insider revealed that this game will release in January of 2024. So yeah, this might be his last leak ever, because right after this, he ended up deleting his account and all of his posts, because I think that somebody's onto him, and they're kind of like tracking down who this leaker is, and maybe they were like on the right track, so he was like, okay, I better delete, all my history and everything. And in our final story of the day, and also in news of the weird, McDonald's has released a brand new Game Boy Color game for Grimace's birthday. Yeah, I know. You can play it on like your browser or on your telephone if you want to, or you can actually download the ROM file and play it on an emulator, or even your Game Boy Color if you know how to like take a ROM and put it into a cartridge. I don't. I have no idea how to do that. But yeah, it was actually designed for the Game Boy Color of all things. It's the weirdest thing. I'm just going to read the little story synopsis. I can't believe there's even a storyline for this. It says that Grimace throws a birthday party at McDonald's, but none of his little McDonaldland friends show up. So with 30 minutes to midnight, he has to round them up before it's time to blow out the candles. So you have to help him go out, collect 40 milkshakes through 4 levels of the game, and reach the goal before the time runs out. There's 2 levels of him on a skateboard, which is oh so much fun, and then 2 where he's riding or running around barefoot. So yeah, if you're like a huge fan of McDonald's, or you just want to like play something really odd and strange, then be sure to check this out. It has nothing to do with RPGs, I just think it's really weird, so I thought that I'd bring it up. Anyway, that's it for this week's news. Like I said, there's a lot of news to talk about. Let me know what you guys thought was the most interesting thing. Let's have a discussion about all that kind of stuff, all this news that I brought up, and as always, have a good day.